So ooh, it's all good. My husband would always say, you know, we had bought and sold a few properties and we had an investment property. And he would always say, you know, you should go get your real estate license to save us some money. And I was like, well, you go get your license. I'm busy. I work 60 hours a week. I'm fine. You work 4 10s, you go do it. And I never thought he'd actually go do it, but he came home one day and he'd signed up for classes. And I was like, well, maybe I'll sign up for classes too. So we took live classes. We're kind of old school, and we went and took classes together. You know, some couples like go to dance class and some do like pottery. We went to real estate school. I was pretty naive and I thought it would help me learn to save money on my taxes. Like I did everything I could to save money on my taxes then. We itemized everything, every last receipt I could have. I sold Mary Kay on the side, not really, but I wanted to save money on taxes. I thought going to real estate school, I might learn how to save some money on my taxes. So I thought, well, for $500, I've wasted more money than that on something. So we start going to, I don't know if you guys, no one here ever does live classes anymore, huh? Not really. We were at Dave Harmon's place, Dave Harmon Sr. I don't know if you guys know him. Super cool, like millionaire next door kind of guy. Super old boy, like he owns half of Orem, really cool guy. And so we're just taking classes. Everything's good. My husband gets his license. He's still working. So my husband's a power lineman and he works at Provo City, and he got his license, and we were just at a little brokerage and trying to write offers on investment properties. Needless to say, we couldn't get any help. Like literally you'd walk in the brokerage and be like, hey, can you help? And people would walk right past you, avoid all eye contact, and make sure that they didn't have to help you with anything. So we didn't get any of the properties that we tried to offer on. Well, you guys know the state training that you have to go to, like the new agent course, the ethics course, that stuff. My husband went to that, and on lunch, he called me. He's like, Angie, I met these agents and they're all happy and they're smart and they're making money. I think we should go meet with their brokerage. Like, okay, I'd never heard of Keller Williams. I still didn't have my license. I took all the classes, but there was no point in spending money on a license. And I just planned to come to KW to market to them. I packed up my pies. I was doing local store marketing. Like I was just going to sell them some pies. Well, during that meeting with, at the time it was Johnny was our team leader, I learned a lot about KW. One of the things I learned was that they were the #2 training company that year across industries worldwide. And from being a training GM, what I knew is I could teach anyone to pour coffee and flip eggs, but I couldn't teach you to hustle, have passion, have integrity, like go work. So if they were going to teach us, I was like, I bet I could actually do this. And understanding so much of the dynamic of how this company works, that meeting was monumental in changing our life. We went to dinner that night and it was so clear. Without a doubt, it was almost like the weirdest shine the light on our table moment. And I'm like, I think I'm supposed to leave the restaurant. And my husband, who's super secure and safe, actually said, I think you are too. And I didn't want him to take it back. So I went to work the next day and I gave my notice and I started Ignite. So that was like June, maybe 25th, and Ignite started July 1st. I gave my notice. I was done by July 20th. And I was just I took all my vacation time so I could take Ignite and jumped in full time. So much of a blessing. It was a little bit crazy. That first year was probably the hardest thing that I'd ever been through. But sometimes we always compare our last year at the restaurant to our first year in real estate, and they're just not equal. We just have to remember our first year was a hot mess at the restaurant too. So that first year out, we ended up, the first 12 months out, I made within $10 of what I made at the restaurant. It was like $56,120. Like it was so close to what I made at the restaurant. And I must have just known if I didn't do that, my husband would have killed me. But we had such blessings that the first calendar year out was more like 107,000. The next year was more like 250. The next year was more like 350. Our team last year was just under 700,000 in GCI, or gross commission income. So that's what comes into the brokerage. And it's been a huge, huge blessing. We sold just under 100 units last year. And we're pacing to probably, we actually will probably do a little less this year, probably closer to 85 units. And I have a small team. So I have some powerhouse women that I get to work with. My husband is still licensed, but we learned early on that it was hard for him to be in the business. If he got a call and he was up on a power line and someone wanted to know about an appraisal, and he didn't have the answer, it would throw his whole day off. And he needs to stay safe and be happy. So he does a lot of supporting and he runs our investment business, but he actually just isn't in the everyday to day things. So, and honestly, is one of the biggest supporters on our team. He runs our investment business. So when we started at KW, I had our single family home that we owned, and we owned a duplex. Now today we have our single family home that has a small apartment in it, and we have 18 other doors. So it's been such a huge blessing, and he's such a smart guy. I'm so blessed to have him. It's a little bit about me and getting started. Now, today's your first day, right? Is this the first class of Ignite? Okay. I like it. Well, what I've learned is I have to bribe people to participate, and how we participate in here is how we will participate out there. So your life gets better the more you participate, and I am giving away some stuff. So I told the front desk to give me some tickets. All right, you guys, and a high level of participation is going to make this class way better. So I'm going to see how this goes. I feel like my tickets that I have that I can't find in my office have 2. So these only have 1. So we're going to have to work through what that looks like for participating. Okay, so what we're going to start with today is, I'm hoping that the slideshow works the way I anticipate it. We'll try. Will it go forward? Maybe no. Let's see. I wonder if it's because we've started Zoom and now it doesn't want to acknowledge it. I think. Okay, so we're going to talk about our big why today. And that was pretty intense for me when people were like, what's your big why? Are you going to go like save the kids or the rainforest or all these big, huge things? And I was like, I don't know. I just want to be happy. So really, that is my big why, is to live a life of harmony. I don't want to fight. I want to feel good. I just want to feel good in my life. It's way easier to feel good with money than it is to not. But that's not my driving force. I didn't go to the work at the restaurant for money. I loved what I did. We had our house paid for. We had an investment property. I just went to work because I liked it. I could disassociate money for what I was doing. Very similar here. For you guys, have you guys talked about your big why? I have tickets. Oh yeah, I forgot we're on Zoom, so pass that guy around. Me too. Shiloh, you got this. Maybe? I'm so bad with those.
There's somebody talking right now because I don't want to interrupt anybody.
It sounds like Michelle. I know that voice. I was working on the.
Okay,
there we go. We got it. We're working on our.
The mute is on. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we went over our big why. I
Okay.
think that's one thing I'm trying to do. That's what Shoni focused on a lot with us is, just get clarity on it. And so for me, I still think I'm trying to get mine a little more clear of. Mine's simple, kind of like take care of my family.
I like it.
But I kind of want to get even more simplified than that. But
Take care of your family. Sam, do you have one? You guys are getting tickets. I'm just forced you.
Sort of. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to have a big why because I'm like young and single and my living expenses are like 20 grand a year. So it's like, I don't really need that much money. So it's like kind of hard to like motivate myself. But I guess my biggest why is just to like have time where I can do things when I'm older.
Mm-hmm.
So
Cool. Viviana. You don't have to. If you guys don't want to, I won't. But I won't give you tickets.
I do have a big one.
Mine? Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting.
Go ahead and go.
I was just going to say mine is so that I feel like a lot of people say so that their kids can have opportunities that they didn't have. But I feel like I had lots of opportunities growing up, and I just want to provide my kids the same thing because it's nice when you can kind of choose what you want to do and become good at when you're little and vacation with your family. And I feel like it brought my family so close together to be able to travel and do all those things. And I just want the same thing.
That's awesome. Viviana?
Okay, I do have a big why. And I forgot his name, but just like he said, he's single and doesn't have a big reason to have a big wife. Sam. That's true. Like me, I'm married and I have 3 girls, and I have one of my girls has special needs. She has seizure tendency. So I heard getting medical, because it's really expensive. So I guess for me, the money, it is, I guess I do care a lot about the money, because if I don't have the money, I don't pay for her medicine and her care. And my parents, so those 2 are my big whys.
That's awesome. Did I give you a ticket? Good. Thank you for sharing.
I have lots of different whys. But I think one of the main reasons I came into real estate was I just love the flexibility. I want to be able to like control my life and do what I want to do on the time that I want to, but also make a living, you know? And I would love to be able to, yeah, maybe you're starting to do I would love to be able to make enough money to, obviously, like I want to be able to provide for myself. And right now I don't have kids or a family, but like I want to spend it on others, like my friends, and just be able to like, yeah, let's grab dinner on me, like without ever feeling like, oh, I can't afford it. So just spending it on others.
It sounds weird, but you know, I was this huge moment when I could put raspberries in the basket and not worry about how much they cost. I know that sounds so dumb, but it's like, we're okay. And raspberries are expensive, $6, and so delightful. So.
My big why evolves, but it's basically to build our rental portfolio. So we have a steady supply of income coming in so that we can focus our time and energy on our kids and their special needs, and to travel. That we miss being able to do that all the time. So
That's awesome. Give you a name tag too.
My big why is
you're so good.
just to make a better life for my kids and my family. I mean, I've always been one to work 2 jobs. So coming into a career where I can actually have a schedule that gives me time with my kids and I can build off of that, that's something I've never had. So I'm going to take it for a ride.
Discipline is where your freedom is going to come from. Ticket for you. Remind me again your name. Garrett. Discipline is what's going to offer you guys that freedom. I will be honest. My daughter actually sometimes says she wishes I was back at the restaurant because you only remember certain things. And I have to work very hard to try and be present, because there's a lot always happening on the phone all the time. So let's talk a little bit more. Do we have others on Zoom that want to share their big whys?
I'll share mine.
Oh,
this is Marianne. I have 5 kids. My oldest turns 21 this week and my youngest turns 10 today. And I just kind of felt like my whole world was revolved around my kids and my husband, and that's awesome. I'm a great mom, but at the same time, I've wanted to be an example to my kids that I could also be successful. And I just kind of needed a purpose in life other than being a mom. So I mean, my husband's great. And I mean, I put my ex-husband through school, so he's a surgeon. I'm supported my, husband now. And I just felt like I needed that success in my own life.
Well, and people sometimes wonder if I hire non-moms, because moms figure out how to get it done. There is something about it that they will have 3 kids, 2 bags of groceries, and make it up the stairs, and just figure out how to go. And, it was interesting. I was Rookie of the Year in 2015, but I think it was from 2012 to 2016 were all moms that were Rookies of the Year. It was like figuring out how to get done. This was, Adrian is keeping track of your guys' tickets. How good is that? That's love right there. That's KW culture. All right, now I believe it's going to be, there's a video in here on one of these that is supposed to go. You guys kind of already talked about this, grow the business, run the business. Yes, no, yes, with Shoni. Perfect. Understand what Spark is. I feel like it's this one that is supposed to turn into a video. Let's try.
Hi, I'm Gary Keller. This course will allow you to get off to a fast start you can build on. Because if you repeated the principles every 90 days for a year, believe me, you have an awesome first year. And just as important, you would have built the foundation and momentum for your entire career. It is practical, realistic, and easy to apply. It's about the fundamentals that determine your level of success in the business of real estate. From our research with top agents, we have found that they too started their careers with these fundamentals, and they continue to do them along with their teams to this very day. And it's not hard. It just requires a little focused effort, a few hours every day. Now, there is really just one way to achieve the goal. It's lead generation. Other skills are important, yet without leads to work with, your skills won't mean a thing. Dealing with business never takes precedence over what? Finding business. Never. Research shows that top producing agents make lead generation their #1 priority and the one thing they make sure they always get done. You can do this. And when you do, you will get the leads, the relationships, the experiences, the career, and the income that you want and deserve. Go get them, and good luck.
What did you guys hear? What was the takeaway from that? Lead generate. Everybody in this business has 2 jobs, their primary job and their lead generator. So I told you my husband's not in the business, but you know the bulk of our business actually comes from him lead generating. That's why we keep him licensed. He doesn't necessarily have to have a license, but we want there to be no question that he can talk to people all day long about real estate, and then we do business with them. So that is a huge piece. So even though he's out working on the line crew or doing whatever that is, he's talking to the guy that's trimming the trees, or he's talking to the other person and working on lead generating. One example is he was ordering signs for us. And you know how many real estate agents went in there and ordered signs from this kid? Probably 20 or 25. Guess who sold him 2 houses? That was from my husband, though, 100%. He invited him to our first-time homebuyer class. He invited him to our investor class. He invited him to our mortgage class. Like, he just kept inviting. We'll go to Costco. He's getting memberships. He's talking to people. Lead generation can look different in lots of different ways, but you have to do it. And you'll find your voice or the way that looks. Everybody's is different. I mean, I'll be totally transparent. I don't call FSBOs. That's not my business. My business, the bulk of it is SOI related. It is repeat referral. That is where the bulk of our business is. And have I called FSBOs before? Yes. It was a good opportunity to learn and grow. It just is not, everybody will have their voice. What does lead generation look like for you guys? Have you started? Are we there yet? And it's Garrett, right? FSBOs. And it's a great place to just get in because they've raised their hand. They call them the low-lying fruit. Now, in the Red Book, I don't know if you guys have read the Red Book, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Gary Keller talks about what your result will be. Have you guys heard about this? Awesome. You know the numbers. So in your database, for every 12 people you have in your database, you will close 2 transactions if you've touched them appropriately 36 times in a year. The challenge with that is when you're new, you haven't touched them 36 times. You have to start today and touch them 36 times. So next year you can get that result. Those numbers are real. I do the math every year and I take my database and I do the numbers and it's almost exact every time. Like, they're very realistic when we look at that. So building your database is going to be super important, and then communicating to them. So my lead generation before I came down here, same thing is that I go through and I'm touching. For me, I would rather just do something very consistently all of the time than super good one day, suck for 2 weeks, and then do it again, super good another day. So for me, it's 5 really good quality conversations every day. I'm going to touch 5 every day. And I need to touch new people before I touch existing ones. What I mean by that is somebody has already raised their hand and said, hey, I'm interested to buy and sell. That is an existing lead. I need to generate somebody who hasn't said that. So I will just reach out to people inside my database. And it's not always, hey, are you looking to buy, sell, or invest? It might be, I have the funniest Monday meme that I might send. It's the monkey or the gorilla that says he's slaying it on Monday. Have you guys seen that? So fun. So a lot of mine will be just different things, whether they're memes I'm sending out to people. I'm thinking about you. Hey, here's a song on YouTube that I think is great. Here's some inspirational quote. Here's a Hey, you're a badass, go get it done. Whatever it is, I might have different things that I'm doing, and I might touch them 3 times before I ask them for business. I want to come from contribution, those kind of things. But I get at least my 5 in before I do my lead follow-up. That's so important though, no matter what, no matter where you're sitting, you can be in carpool line, you can be at the grocery store, get off of Facebook unless you're actually being productive on there, or start engaging so you can just work purposefully. How are you guys on your databases right now? Where are you guys sitting? Does anyone have 200 already? And if you don't, and you don't know people, then your number one thing is to find new people. How can you find new people? Where are some ways? Open houses, gyms, places you already live is huge. You do have to open up your mouth and talk to people. You can't just, I'm taking an early morning class right now that I don't love, but I'm working on getting out of my zone, because at 5 a.m. I'm like, this is all I'm doing. Like, I'm not doing anything more, but I now have 3 really solid relationships that I've built in there. I think that I don't know whether we'll do business today, but we'll do business one day. Open houses your first year are fantastic because they don't know you're new. There's a book called Sell with Soul, S-O-U-L, one of the best books when you're new. Really just talks, and it's not a KW book, it's just an Angie book that someone referred to me was great. What I love about it is she is, and it's not on Audible, I'm so sorry, but Sell with Soul, it is on Amazon. She's not super outgoing, the lady who wrote the book. So she wrote the book of how to be super successful in real estate, even though you might not be a super high I or really outgoing, of how to make that happen. One of the most important things is that open house, being prepared at the open house and actually being the expert. My first year, 70% of my closed deals came from open houses. And let's go back just for fun. I actually should do the math. So I have this one client, I met at an open house in August of 2015, and I have closed, he bought that house. He sold a duplex with us, a fourplex with us, a fixer upper with us. He bought, and then bought 3 townhouses. And he's so nice. He actually bought my grandpa's property. So somebody who's wonderful owns my grandpa's property, which is incredible. But talk about a really good, solid piece. So maybe 2 weeks ago, one of the touches, I just bought mums. They were $6 at Walmart, and I just brought them around to some of my top people who offer us a lot of referrals in business. The $6, drop by mom, see how they're doing, see if we can help them with anything. I do a yearly report for him on all of his real estate so we can see how much it's grown. So like this year, they've grown like $300,000 in value, and I hand delivered it with the moms of here's your portfolio. So I get to be his real estate agent. Even though somebody else at another open house said, he told me he had an agent. I live next door. I didn't know you were the one. But we can't just be like, I'm an agent. We have to provide value. We need to be the expert. We need to know more. We need to help them feel like they need us. That's why if you're at an open house, you can't just be like, hey, are you working with somebody? It really needs to sound more like, oh, this isn't the right one. I don't know if you guys saw the townhouse down the street that just came on the market. I could show it to you this afternoon. Fantastic. Let's go. I'll schedule the appointment after I get done. You want to help them want to work with you because you know more. But if you didn't do the search before you ended that open house, you're not going to know that it's there. And when you start talking to them about things they need, they'll talk to you. Now, this is my other scenario about open houses or anything else. Information equals motivation. Not everybody is going to go to that townhouse with you. Not everybody's even going to give you their name. Some of them are going to be butts. Like, that's real. And it's okay, because information equals motivation. If they don't give you their name, they don't want to work with you. It's okay. Move on. Find someone who wants to work with you. Think about it. Like when you go into Dillard's and you're walking around and they're like, can I help you? And you're like, no, I'm just looking. I'm just looking. I'm just looking. Well, the minute you need black socks, you like walk right up to them and be like, hey, where's the black socks? When they're ready, they will do that to you. You just have to be there and be available. And don't be hurt when somebody's like, nope, I'm just looking. They're not ready. The minute they start to share stuff, that's your like ding, 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 ding. They want to go buy a house, help them. So information equals motivation. All right, so nothing else about your business will be as big of an impact as the number of leads you have. Why do you think that? Why do you think that is? You guys just get to forgive me. And no one calls you just because you got your real estate license. I'm so sorry, even if you're fancy. Oh, shnikes. I gotta find him. Thanks for the reminder. Oh, it's so warm. This dress is so much cuter with the jacket, but sorry, you guys, you get without. It's gonna be fine. We'll be fine. I can't worry about it. It's fine. We're fine. Okay, so if you don't, and they're not gonna just call you. You guys are probably like, I don't have any cards. I can't talk to people. Nobody needs cards. This is also the secret. Oh my gosh, I'm all out of cards. What's your phone number? And you put it in your phone right then. Who took control of that situation? And all of a sudden they're like, oh man, you're already out of cards. Good for you. Hey, I'm all out of cards. What's your number? I'd love to connect later. Hey, I'm like, no big deal. Just get as many as you can and talk to as many people as you can. Now, I had told you guys that we closed, I don't know, we made 100,000 that first year, but right now I want you guys to pull your phones out. And I want you to go into your calendar and I want you to find out what is day 90 from the day you started. Or from today. You can use today if you want. I'm good with that. This is a very important day. Has anybody heard about day 90 yet? Okay. I remember my day 90. It was the last Tuesday in October 2014. Clear as day. I'd had a little bit of success. Somebody let me list their property that they knew. I had closed one deal and I was trying to close another one and I'd made a mistake on a contract. And that agent on the other side definitely let me know. It did not feel good. And I hate to suck. I hate failing. I hate disappointing people. And I picked my daughter up from school and I came in the house. It's like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And I walked upstairs and I crawled in bed and pulled the covers above my head. And I thought I was going to call my boss and ask for my job back. I was like, what the hell did I do? And me and God, with a good talk, I was like, God, you told me to do this. Why did you tell me to do this? This is not okay. This is the worst decision I've ever made. I don't think I can do this. I'm not good at this job. This sucks. It's so stinking hard. And I was only there a couple of minutes and it was so clear. And he was like, well, you quit feeling so stinking sorry for yourself and get up and work. Go downstairs and just work. So I went downstairs and I started calling people because that's what they teach you in Ignite. 10, 10, 10, right? 10 a day, 50 a week, 200 a month. So I just started calling people. Fine, fine, fine. I just want to be mad, but I won't. I'll get out of bed and I'll go start calling people. So I start calling people and all of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. Not anyone I was calling. I was calling just SOI, people I'd worked with, all those things. I get a call in and it said, and this guy says, Angie, the smokehouse is getting a new roof. Can we go put an offer on it? Well, I had shown this investor every single house in Utah County that we could find. And I was like, yeah, we can go put an offer on it. Right after that, another gal called me and said, Angie, there's a condo for sale in KSL. Can we go see it tonight? Sure, yeah, we can go see it. Yeah, we can do that. My lender calls me and says, I have a qualified lead that's standing in front of a house. Can you go show it to him? By the end of that week, we had 5 under contract. Day 90 is so important for you to mark in that calendar because you will experience it. It will be the lowest low that you've had, and that is when they quit. So when day 90 comes and you're sitting on the stairs and you're crying, I want you to hear my voice and be like, just keep going. Get up and go call people. It will solve all the problems in this business. Every time you're having a hard day, every time shit hits the fan, every time anything happens, go call people. It will solve everything every single time. And you know, it's not unique to me. That is very, very real. A gal on my team, same thing. It was just so crazy to watch last week. Boom, 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 3 under contract, right as she was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if this is going to work for me. 100%. You just have to keep pushing through that moment. Now that 90-day cycle is 100% real. It happens whether you've been in the business 5 years or whether you're brand new. 2 years ago, we were building a house and moving. And I don't think I knew I did it, but I naturally slowed my business down. I was just too busy to deal with lead generating every single day. Well, what do you know? I ended up in December with 15 under contract. Well, we closed them all. So January 1st, I had nothing. Our team had 1 under contract. And I hadn't worked the last 90 days. So it was like, I lied. It was December 28th. So I told my mom, I'm like, well, we're 90 days out. That's just what's going to happen. And we worked 90 days. We made nothing in January, nothing in February. And it was March 15th, right before the shutdown. And all of a sudden we had 5 listings that went live. It was just like boom, 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 boom. My mom called me and she goes, you're 2 weeks early, Angie. Because that's real. That is 100%. If you stop working, you will feel it 90 days from now. And if you just dig in right now, I promise 90 days from now, that's when the business will start to explode. And you might not you just got to talk to as many people as you possibly can. I'm in a place in my business I can talk to 5. You guys don't have that luxury. I'll just be totally honest. I did not talk to 5 when I started. I literally was 20 or 30 a day, just trying to push through to get as much movement as I could, because everybody knew me as the pie lady. They didn't think I sold houses. Give it some time, and start to educate yourself. Now, I am totally off course. Is that okay? Yes, you get a ticket.
When you reach out to 5 people, is it always like a phone call, or could it be text message? Could it be email, whatever?
I actually do probably a lot of text message, instant message, some on, and I do some phone calls. So I didn't bring my notebook down. So I went into a high production mode 30 days ago, just feeling that I just knew the shine the light moment. So I'm calling it 90 and 90. My coach is like, what is that? Because I'm not really listing 90 homes in 90 days. But in my heart, I'm working as if we're listing 90 homes in 90 days. And so I just picked up the phone and wanted to have voice conversations. I would only get 1 to pick up out of 20. So I do get a higher response. I still think it's good if those voice conversations I had though were super valuable. So don't give up trying. So I just call. Now, if it's a lead, you call, don't leave a message. 2 minutes later, call again. And if they don't answer, then you can leave a message or shoot them a text message, but try twice in a row before you do. And most of the time my peeps will be like, hey, sorry, I missed you. What's up? I'm at work. What's up? And I've built enough of a relationship. So I do probably text a lot. I last week sent, I think it was close to 300 contacts in whether it's text message, email, face-to-face, voice-to-voice, open houses. And I was feeling my business slow down, and I just felt really strong. Like, this is what I'm supposed to do to go into the new year and make some shifts. We slowed down. It's the same thing happened. I slowed down because we moved a lot of properties this year. I sold everything that I have here, and we've moved them out of state. And so the last property we bought was it's being ran as an Airbnb in Florida, and that is not passive income. It was 100% active income, and it's taken like a whole other business I had to set up, and I didn't realize how much my business had stopped while I was focused on that. I was selling our duplexes and getting that up and going. I was like, holy crap. Transparency, I have 0 under contract right now. So I do have photos being scheduled at 2 listings this week though. And I showed 3 different people over the weekend, and we're back in, but it takes 90 days. You got to work every single day, and work means lead generate every single day. The other reason is the number of leads that you have. If you only have 1 lead and they kind of suck, you're going to just try to make them work. But let's say their motivation is a 5. You are never going to breathe life into them to get them to an 8. Okay, so, but if they're an 8, you could maybe breathe enough life into them to get them to make a move. And if you only have 1, you're stuck, and you just turn and turn and turn. If you get new in there and somebody else is a 6, Well, now I have a 6. And you call a few more people and you get someone who's an 8. The 5 is still there. He's just not ready right now. So one of our commandments on our team is every marshmallow in the fire counts. It's because you just keep throwing them in. When they're ready, they'll be ready to go. You're going to have s'mores one day. It'll be fine. You just keep throwing those guys in. And the more you put into your pipeline, you'll pick the better and go work with them. Keep touching these guys. You don't want them to go run off with another agent. But when they're ready, they'll go, and then go find more. Just keep throwing them in. As many as you can get in the fire, the better off you're going to be. And sometimes, especially at the beginning, you're just like, woo, throwing them up in the air, and you hope, you hope that that you don't drop all the balls. You can drop a couple, but don't drop all of them. I don't think, there we go. Okay, let's see. So Spark, okay. So the daily habits of success. I don't know exactly what how they do Ignite now. I'll tell you the reason that I had success when I started is because I graduated Ignite. And that didn't mean just show up to classes. Graduate meant do all the homework. That's where you're going to make the money. Call people, write notes. Oh, all y'all, who's on track on writing their notes right now? They're the hardest, and they will be the biggest impact on your business.
Is that notes on people that you're talking to?
People you're talking to, could be for whatever. It could be like I had a gal, I don't know, I think it's that way. It could be, I had a gal, I'm like super awkward when I go to, what are the things that PTA? And she was so cute, and just honestly, she could tell I was so comfortable, and she winked at me in a moment where it just did not feel great. And I sent her a note in the mail. She picked up the phone and she was crying. She was like, I can't believe that you realized, and that meant so much to me. I was just like, thank you so much for making an awkward moment so much less awkward and making me feel like I belong. Anytime you can write anything, just come from gratitude. 100%. Thank you so much for taking my call today. I appreciate you keeping me in mind. I appreciate you being my advocate. I'm so glad I can count on you. You're the best. I love you. You have cute hair. I don't know. Whatever you want to tell them is good. But the handwritten notes is always where everyone fails, including me. Like that's one of the biggest challenges for me to sit down and get my handwritten notes done. So mine is 1 a day versus 5, because I'll fail at 5. I can do 1. Even 1 is a challenge. My challenge is you guys can send them from here. I don't make it to the post office, so they'll sit on my desk. There's an outgoing mailbox upstairs, though, so just drop in the mail. It might not be as fast as the mailbox or the post office, but it'll be fine. And it could be anything, but my recommendation is you make a call and then you write a note to that person. That'll probably be the fastest way for you to start to build that. And it is just, hey, thanks so much for taking my call. I really appreciate you thinking about me when real estate comes up with your friends or family. Hope you're doing great, or whatever that looks like. It's just come completely from gratitude on it. Right now, if you were to just, I didn't bring cards today. A lot of times I'll bring cards and we write them here, and it's just who can you be grateful for today? Has anyone done anything for you today, this week, this month, that you can be grateful for? And a lot of the times too, so if you do get somebody that has, hey, my grandma's aunt is looking to buy or sell, get a card right then to them. Ideally, you even put something small in it, maybe a $5 gift card to Starbucks. We buy little So Delicious cards. I think they're $2 a piece or $1.80 a piece. So we can just pop something in the mail and get those out right away. That's actually a huge one, because it's the behavior you want to reward. But even a handwritten note, if you don't have any money, is gonna offer that behavior. That'll help. That'll make them feel good. And showing your homes. So you're supposed to do 10 a week. Get into as many homes as you can. You should know the market. Even if you can't get into the homes because you might be with kids or life is crazy, have all of your listing alerts up. Do you guys know what listing alerts are? Raise your hand if you don't. Everybody's good? Okay, because the thing that people want from you is they're going to want an agent that they can trust. This is why you guys might win against me, is because they may trust you over me. They may not know me. They want an agent they can trust. That costs no money. So an agent they can trust. They want someone with market knowledge and someone to negotiate on their behalf. All those things are free, and nothing says that you have to have been in the business 10 years to have people have that. You are going to have to act upon it. One, you got to have integrity, and you got to they got to know they can trust you. That is a big part of we just do the right thing. That's one of the other commandments on our team is we do the right thing because it pays well. If you do the right thing, it'll be fine. Save the client, not the deal. Just do what is right and it'll pay you tenfold. There's no question that one dude has all that money. He works with me because he knows I'm not going to screw him. I'll tell him if it's a bad deal. I'll tell him if it's a good deal. I'll tell him to walk away from something. If we close the deal, great. If not, there'll be another, it's fine. We're going to do what's right for them. Market knowledge and negotiate on their behalf. So let's talk about market knowledge, which is, this is free. Market knowledge is one of those things do you guys know how much the condos would go for across the way here? If one came on the market at 280, is that a good price or a bad price? I have a ticket. Does anyone want to guess?
Probably a good price.
Okay, there's two that came on the market for 5. Condo across the way here. It is the cheapest thing because there's nothing under 300. But that's the thing is that you got to look at it and know if it's a good deal or a bad deal so they can trust you. So you're going to be like, oh, no, that's not a good deal. And that gets done by just looking at listings every day. How many hot sheets do you guys, listing alerts do you guys have set up right now? 1. How many? Okay, this is the homework 2. Okay. How can you talk to somebody about something if you don't know about it? You can't be the expert. And it's free. I probably have 40. I look at them before, I'm trying not to look at them before I get out of bed. That's my goal, is to read some positive literature before I do that. But I have all of them that come to me and I can tell you something good just popped back out on the market in Nephi, and something else just popped on the market in Santa Quinn, and there's land that just came over here. Now, if you have somebody that ever talks about thinking about selling, the first thing you do is you should go and put a hot sheet. I'm going to call them hot sheets. Okay, it's just a listing alert together for their neighborhood. Don't send it to them, send it to you. When it comes out, you text it to them and say, hey, your neighbor just listed. You know that market better than them. Then when you go into their house 3 or 4 months later, because it might be that long before they're ready to sell, you already know what has come on the market, what the pricing looks like. You'd even know without even doing a CMA. So you should have one for your own neighborhood, because you better know when houses come on the market before anybody else. Sierra, come on in, bienvenidos. But you ought to know before anybody else knows. You don't want to go to coffee with your friends in the neighborhood and they're like, did you see the Millers listed? I'd be like, that happened. That's why I don't do that anymore. I want to know before the neighbors know, so I can be the first one in the mom group to tell them so-and-so listed their house. So have your own neighborhood. Anything you want to sell, start a hot sheet for, start a listing alert for. What I learned is I'll sell what I know. And I sell, that's not always great, because if I know trailers, I sell trailers. I've sold my fair share of trailers. That's very real. I just recently closed 2 different properties that were over $1 million. It was interesting when I started to pull that hot sheet. I know I get a hot sheet every morning and every night, actually, for every property in Utah County that is active, under contract, backup, or sold between 1 million and 2 million. So I can talk intelligently about it when I'm with people who are in that price range, instead of being like, hey, the trailer down the street sold for 18 grand. I was a listing agent. I rocked that. It's different. All of a sudden, when we are in that environment, someone's walking down the street and they're like, hey, did you see? Our home has moved locations now too. So I probably sell less tri-levels than I used to. I do love tri-levels. I think they're fantastic. But we're in a different price point. And I had to start to learn about that price point, because those are the people we have an opportunity to get to spend time with. Hot sheets though. So anybody who's thinking about it, if you want to sell $1 million houses, you better start getting listing alerts for $1 million houses. So you could say, is it a good price or a bad price? So we listed one in our neighborhood, and it was interesting because the comp said it should actually be at around 900,000 for the 1 mile radius. So if all I did was a CMA, it would have only been 900,000. Everyone thought, well, I told them I thought it was 1.2 to 1.3. And the reason is there was no inventory on the market that was as good as their house in Utah County. I knew we could find a buyer between 1.2 and 1.3. They were crazy, decided to list at 1.45. Right. 2 days later, I was like, can we please drop the price? We dropped the price. It took us almost a month to get them down to 1.2. When we went to 1.2, we got multiple offers and we're back at 1.3. The neighborhood was like, how in the hell? But I knew 1.2 to 1.3. I told them the whole time, this isn't gonna stand. I told them at 1.2 we'd have multiple offers, and at 1.3 that's what we'd sell, and we ended right at 1.3. And that was totally the market knowledge, 100% of like, I know, I've watched this for 6 months. I know that's where we're gonna get an offer. Same on like whatever it is you're selling though. So whether it's listings or buyers. So if you're around people who are looking for condos or investment properties, you gotta get hot sheets for those so you can talk about it. That matters. If you're somebody who wants to do development, you gotta get your hot sheets for land. Whatever it is you want to focus on, start getting those, because you can look through those hot sheets really fast. I don't think I cleared that one. Oh, yes, I did. How many houses do you think came on the market today in Utah County? You think I'm a badass because I know, huh? So 4, that's all that came on the market. But that's what matters, is if you're like, well, 18 houses came on the market in Utah County. I don't ever really look at that email. I kind of do. But I just want to know how many came on because I can feel what's happening. I just get everything because I look at the number. That's what's important to me. And I also get there's price reductions. So Saturday we had, I think it was 14 price reductions in Utah County. We did one, I pulled it at the end of last week. And guess how many price reductions happened in Utah County in that 14-day span? Like we went back instead of just that day that had price reductions. It was 118. Like that's interesting conversation that you can engage with your sphere about. And then they go, oh, you know something. I need to be with you. You know it. Instead of like, thinking to buy, sell, or invest. When you know stuff, they'll start to talk to you about it. So start investing in your knowledge and information. So that market knowledge, if you can walk houses, that's great, but at least get them into your email. It's like so fast. I can check them, clear them. And I personally, everyone's different. I personally do not have any houses go directly to my buyers for multiple reasons. They want to look at junk. So if they get junk in their email, they'll ask me to go show it to them, and I don't want to show it to them. So some is just lazy. So I have everything come to me, and it does take more time, and then I filter it and only send them what's good. That way I don't get stuck showing junk. We are our sphere. Okay. So have you guys learned about Ford? Do you guys know what it is? Who's the first one? Family, occupation, recreation, and awesome. Good work. That one is a hard one for me. I just want to talk about data and numbers and stuff. I actually have to work really hard because I don't really know how many kids you have or what their names are or what you do for work. And it's like the best thing to be able to talk to them about. So I was at a volleyball game the other day, and it's if I'm in a work setting, I can totally talk to you. If I'm at PTA or volleyball game, I cannot talk to you. It's so hard for me. So I was working really hard at it. I was like, so what do you do for work? Where are you from? Like, I was trying so hard. I love the Ford dialogue because it is just, I worked my way right through it. You wouldn't believe that I'm like super awkward when I get around people. It's so bad. So bad. It's real. You guys ever feel that? Okay. My favorite bold law, don't compare your insides to other people's outsides. They're probably a hot mess inside too. That's fine. We're all just trying to figure it out. Okay. So people that you already have in your database, you can just work that when you're calling your sphere. Getting new people in the sphere though. So if you do an open house, it's people you meet there. How else can you meet new people at an open house? What else can you do to meet more? Grow the database. Oh, that's worth a ticket. Knock the neighborhood if you were on Zoom. What does that sound like? there's 2 times you should knock that neighborhood. The first one is softer. It's like, hey, come to the open house. How long have you lived here? Do you like the neighborhood? What do you like about it? Blah, blah. The second one is more powerful. This is where you're actually going to get leads. Post open house or post going under contract. This is going to sound like, oh my gosh, we just helped this miss down the street. I held their house open and they had 10 offers. It means I have 9 more people who want to move to this neighborhood. Do you know anyone who's thinking that they might make a move? No? Okay, cool. How long have you guys lived here? Do you like it? What do you love about it? Fantastic. This neighborhood is blowing up. I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but you've actually gone up 25% in values this year. Has anyone done a market report for you? I'd love to do one just for fun. Oh, we're not thinking about selling. Oh, no, I don't mean that. Are you guys paying mortgage insurance right now on your house? You guys shouldn't be paying mortgage insurance. If we do this, you could probably challenge it and get them to take it off, reduce your monthly payment. I mean, you don't have to, but I'd be happy to help. It's just something I do for my clients. I don't charge anything. I'm not looking to sell your house. Well, sure, I'd love that. Fantastic. What's your email address? Can I call you back a little later today to verify the information on your house? Perfect. It's like that simple, but you just totally come from contribution. That's probably one of the most powerful door knocking ones I've had, is to challenge the mortgage insurance. I talk about that a lot with people because I'm not asking you to refinance. I'm not asking you to do anything. I just want to help you. So you guys understand how mortgage insurance works, yes? Should we talk about it? Because this is a powerful come from contribution that you guys get. Yes. So let's say I have an actual scenario. My friend Andrew bought one of the houses down the street here, 42 something on 1200 West. He bought it at 220. A year later, we did a market report for him and it was worth 300. Okay. That means it's gone up in value $80,000. Now, when you get a loan, you're either going to put 5%, 0% down, 5%, 10%, 15, or 20%. The bank expects you to own at least 20%. And if you don't, it's okay, but they're going to charge you an additional mortgage insurance. It's an additional amount every month. Now, it will naturally fall off, usually around 7 or 8 years. You can challenge it, and maybe you'll have to do an appraisal or something like that for them to get it to come off. But if you can show that you own at least 20% of the home, then you won't have to pay that extra insurance. There's no refinance or anything like that. So he did have to pay for $450 for an appraisal to be done, but it literally saved him $350 a month. Like, huge value. So fun. He's one of my favorite people to talk about because he bought his first house 0% down, and now we've bought and sold several times, and he has $100,000 in his bank account plus 20% down on the condo, and his payment's like $600 a month. So cool. Yes. That is correct. You are absolutely right. So what's great is you're going to get into a deeper relationship with that person you're knocking on the door on when you realize they are an FHA, and then you say, you know what we should do? I work with Intralend. They just do this for free. They can just see if it makes sense for you to refinance right now and get out of an FHA loan. So you might have to refinance if that's the case, but it may be worth it. What I love about them is they will give you a couple of scenarios and see if it makes sense. Right now, I mean, it depends too. I mean, the people should not be paying mortgage insurance. Now, the second thing that I tell them is it's not easy. No one, the people don't love to just drop that. So you have to call every single day till they do. Like, you got to be a pain. So I want you to set a timer in your phone and call every single day. And I tell a bunch of people this, and I will do the market reports for them. Not everyone does it. It's kind of sad to watch because not everybody is as like financially minded. What you'll learn about me is I am super frugal. Some things I do like to be able to take my friends out to dinner or have people over or spend money on things that are of value, but I'm totally happy being at JCPenney's. Like, that is my jam. I like my Santa Fe. I don't have a Tesla. I probably will never have a Tesla. I would just rather have another investment property. I did want our property in Florida so we could go. So excited. It's a duplex. It's new construction. So it's 3-bed, 2-bath, and 2-car garage. They both have pools, and they're on a canal that goes out to the Gulf. Probably spent too much on it, but it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're going to go over. I was on booking flights for Christmas time. So we had a credit that we needed to use up. And so I'm like, We're going over fall break and we're gonna go over Christmas. I'm taking my team in November for our retreat. I'm hopeful. We might not make a ton of money, but at least we'll be happy. Okay. Stay in touch with your sphere. All right. How often do you guys think people move? And right now, I would actually have to say that my database probably moves every 3 years. But it's probably equity is probably the driving force. You know, I would say the number one thing that generates our listings is actually our yearly market reports that we do. Welcome, come on in. You don't have to leave. We like you. I do for their anniversary, I send them a market report, and then my assistant does send like a Home Depot gift card, or we've done a few different things, but right now we're doing Home Depot gift cards for their year anniversary. But that is, yes. I send them a market report every anniversary, but we only send the gift card the first year. $25. And we've done some different things. You could send cookies, you could send anything. You could just send a card if you didn't have anything in your budget. However, I will tell you that is the one thing that if there was a system that you were going to set up right away, do the market report. That's actually the value add. They probably send them. I can't tell you that I'm the one that sends it. I won't send it. If you think I just won't send the handwritten. No. The market reports though, I have them as soon as we close the transaction, we start a calendar invite that's reoccurring. It has the MLS number in it, has all the contact information in it. So I can click on it and it's just there. And I can see that I have 7 to do this week. The market reports don't take that long. I send them in an email. I kind of have a canned email that I change every year that has some different things, has some graphs on it, has, you know, the Apple video that, have a good one. Thanks, Garrett. The Apple video that was on Instagram. You guys didn't watch the Apple video? Oh my gosh, we have to watch it though. The one that was like bidding on an apple. No? Yeah. So I actually send that of like funny laugh of you talking. We'll watch it before the day's out because that is hilarious. That was the way it was. What's interesting is this is totally off topic. Let's talk about data for a second. Okay, so in general, houses have gone up over the last 5 years. The median home sales price has gone up about $25,000 a year across the board. That's a good average, about $2,000 a month. Okay, last year went up $36,000, so it went up to more like $3,000 a month. And second quarter of this year went up $50,000 in 12 weeks. That's $500 a day. It's freaking bonkers. So when people ask me, is the market going to crash? I tell them that spiel, and then I say, so of course we're not going up $500 a day. We're flatlining, but I don't see it going down. That's where we're going to be. But you're right. The market this year has been bonkers. How's the market? This thing's crazy, blah, blah. So have something ready to talk to them about that they go, holy crap, like they know their stuff. And I like data. That's going to be the way I can talk about it. That's where my confidence comes from. Less on scripts. I'm not so much like sign the contract. Mine is like, well, work with me or don't. Like I'm the one that knows. You decide. You choose. It's your deal. Okay, so often. So set up those things. That's probably one of the first things I do. The other thing is those market reports, seriously, people will call me 3 months later and like, well, we're thinking we might sell. I had like 3 last year that were just right afterwards. One decided to sell. They paid off their student loans. Another one, he'd been in his house a year, his condo, ended up with enough money that we could pay realtor fees, pay off a debt, still put money down on a townhouse, like in less than a year. It's just crazy, these guys. So even if you didn't sell it to them, you're like, oh, my friend just bought a condo a year ago. I missed the boat. Do a market report for them. Those market reports where they're like, it's like a credit card. They are ready to spend that money. Those are so good. And that literally is how they're building wealth. That's the coolest part about real estate. We get to help normal people make money, like crazy money. Andrew, I was telling you about, he's an assistant manager at the restaurant down at Philogen in Provo. And we talk about appreciation, $2,000 a month. That's just average. That's normal. Do you think he could go to his boss and say, hey, can I get a raise for $2,000 a month? There's no way. There's no way he'd have 100 grand in his bank account if he didn't buy his first house. Real estate helps normal people make money, like normal, good, average people. That's how you got to get them into these houses. It makes all the difference in the world. It's huge. Like there's just nothing else that can do that. And we get to help them. Like, isn't that the coolest thing? It's so powerful. Okay, family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Should we role play this a little? How are you guys feeling about it? Who wants to role play? How are we? I love it. Do you want to be calling me, or should I call you?
You call me.
Oh, okay. All right. Make sure I got it. It's Caroline, right? Caroline. Okay, I can do this. Have you guys ever watched the TED Talk on physiology? No? Oh man. We're gonna have to, I'm gonna need to get you guys the emails and send you a bunch of stuff that you need to look into. Physiology. You gotta like power stands it up. Okay. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Caroline, it's Angie Fischer. How are you?
Hey, Angie, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. Hey, I just wanted to take a couple minutes and check in on you. We haven't talked for a little while. How's life going?
I know. Oh my gosh, life is going really well. Just still working hard, and just COVID was a little bit crazy with the family. My brother just got COVID, but he's doing well now. But yeah, luckily I've been healthy. What about you? How have you been?
Oh, we have been so good. It's been such a crazy year, but I feel so blessed. I don't know. We've been able to stay healthy and life has been pretty good.
Good.
How are the kids doing? Are they okay at school?
Yeah, they're doing really well. Man, my little 2-year-old, or well, I guess 2 is not in school yet. My 4-year-old, yeah, my 4-year-old just started preschool and she's having so much fun with it. And yeah, she's doing really well. But my 7-year-old is kind of struggling. He doesn't really like school as much, which has been kind of challenging, but you just got to push him out the door sometimes, but he's doing okay. What about your kids?
Oh, they're doing so good. I was curious. I have somebody looking in your neighborhood. How do you like Spanish Fork?
Oh, we love Spanish Fork. We moved here, like a couple years ago, and we just love the area. And we live close to family, which we're all about that. So yeah, Spanish Fork is a great place to live. I just love how close we are to all the different like amenities and stuff. So we love that.
That's awesome. And is there anything you'd want me that you think I should share with my clients about Spanish Fork that would be helpful for them?
Just like I mentioned, there's lots of different amenities and it's really close to the freeway. So we're able to just travel, whether we want to go down south easily or just a trip to just downtown Salt Lake, which is nice. So I just love being so close to that freeway.
Oh my gosh, you guys sound like you're doing great.
Yeah.
Do you got any big plans coming up on the horizon? Anything fun going on?
We're going on a trip to Florida.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I love Florida.
Oh, what? No way. It's our favorite place.
I love it. Where are you guys headed?
Just Orlando. So we're doing a big Disney World trip, which will be really fun.
Are you guys just going with your family or do you have a big group going?
So, yep, my family and some extended family, just some of my siblings and their kids. And so we're really looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh. I'm excited to hear how it goes. We haven't ventured into any adventure parks lately, but it sounds like that's really good down there. You guys, I hope it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever been, believe it or not. So I think it'll be really fun. I think the kids will love it.
So I heard, I haven't made it yet, but Provo is flying to Tampa. Direct flight starts here in October.
What? No way.
So we're going to try, but I'll keep you posted. We're going to try this month. I've been nervous to tell anyone because it is Allegiant. I don't know how that's going to go, but I'll let you know. Yeah. That's exciting.
We want to hear about that. That's awesome.
Very cool. Well, while I have you on the phone too, we are doing one of our market updates. I don't know if you guys are interested, but if you know of anyone who might be interested in knowing what's happening in the market, we'd love to invite them. Is there anyone that maybe comes to mind right now?
Actually, yeah, like I mentioned, my my brother's looking to buy like just a little condo somewhere in Utah County. I'm not sure where, but I know, I'm sure he would love kind of a market update and
That's
whatnot.
awesome.
So,
We really, the market's been really crazy this year. So I found that people just really want to understand the data and get rid of all the noise that's happening so they understand if there's still a good deal and how to get in on them.
yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome. Is it an investment form or is this his first home?
This would be his first home.
Oh, cool. Honestly, we got to help him out. Well, I love working with people who just want to understand and get in a good position to negotiate. Would you do me a favor? Do you want to maybe start a group chat and just introduce me to him?
Sure. Yeah, I can do that.
That'd be cool. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to hear how Orlando goes and let me know if there is anything we can ever do for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much, Angie.
Awesome. Thank you.
And
Take
see
care. I know. So I will tell you how Allegiant goes. The ones we booked for December, I had credits with Delta, which I'm sure will be much nicer than Allegiant, but Allegiants are pretty cheap. So we shall see. We shall see. All right. And yes. Yes. Tampa, and they're direct flights. So the three of us are less than $1,000. I think I did for my team. It's about 1,100 for four of us to go down. We're in Cape Coral, which is 2 hours south of there, but Cape Coral has my heart. I don't know why. So, well, we went and drove all over Florida. So I knew Florida was a good market. But we did about 4,000 miles in 4 days. Like we went from end to end it was the most horrible trip. Everybody's like, you went to Florida? Yeah. I was like, no, it was horrible. But it definitely helped us understand like where we wanted to invest. So we have fourplexes in Ocala, which is kind of the middle of the state. Reminds me a lot of Nephi, big trucks, very agricultural, but busy, super busy. And then the rest of our properties are in Cape Coral. My husband is trying to invest in Missouri or somewhere. We have a couple in Indiana, and I just love Cape Coral. So we actually, I think, did okay on those. So we'll see. I would like to move there one day. Oh, yes. Yes. No, this is real too. That you got put on the spot. Don't overthink it though. And the other thing that we didn't start there that I tried to do, because you guys are all going to say, but when I call them, they talk for an hour, right? So if you have a nice conversation like that, maybe you even don't talk about real estate. 2 weeks from now, you call and say, hey, Caroline, do you have 2 minutes? And that's how I start my call out. Like, hey, Caroline, do you have am I saying it right? Yes, Caroline. Okay. Do you have 2 minutes to help me with something? And they'll usually say yes. Because that's the other thing is if you take a long time, they don't have 20 minutes to talk to you either. So when you call, they're going to avoid that call. So just be really clear. Hey, do you have 2 minutes to help me out with something? Awesome. I am XYZ. So for me personally, I found that I like to teach. This is like my joy. So we do a lot of classes. I do a class every month, whether it's a market update. This month, we're doing an accelerated mortgage class, how to pay your mortgage off in 7 different ways to pay your mortgage off. We'll do one for investors. We'll do one. So we always have classes going. So I just say, hey, do you have 2 minutes? I'm doing a class. Do you know anyone it might be helpful for? No pressure. We'll do dinner. I just wanted to see if there's anyone you think it might help. So again, like everybody does different pieces, like you find a way, but that's for me. That's why I'm calling all the time. My text messages almost always have, hey, we're doing this. Is there anyone you know that it might help? And if that's the last thing I sent to them, I can't send it again. So I will then go, okay, now I've got 3 more funny memes, something fun, whatever that comes in between there. So, and we'll do some other events. Like we did a Jakers event that we just got done with, but the bulk is our classes. And honestly, I love them because then I get to do the data and then I have the knowledge and no one takes that from me. It's like, it's worth the investment of time. How are you guys feeling on this? Good. Do we get to move on? Good. Good. Don't be stressed. You can get a little tattooed for Ford. So you remember, like, if it's silent and you don't know what to do, just go back to it and grab one of those. You don't have to go in order. Dreams is like, hey, do you got anything fun going on? And honestly, you'll work your way through that conversation. If it feels right to ask for something, don't don't tell yourself the story that it feels weird though. That's the story you're telling yourself, that they don't want to help you. They do, they like you. And they'll probably say, no, I don't know anyone. Or, hey, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask, do you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell in real estate? Or at the beginning, I used to say, this was Clay. Clay is good. I'd follow him around, but he would say, you know what I've learned in this business right away, because they're probably going to ask you if they know you're doing real estate. You know what I've learned in this business is it's word of mouth. Is there anybody you know that is looking to buy or sell? Like, just be simple. Don't tell the story that you can't ask them. They want to help you. And if they don't, are they really your friends? Like, you have to do your part and start to study and make sure you know your crap. You do your part. You can't just expect people to work with you because you got your driver's license. My kid's getting her license this month. But you got to know and study your contracts, study the contracts and study the market. Those two things. Totally where my confidence has come from. Yes.
Where do you usually, like you specifically, go and study the market? And because I mean, I know they send out emails of this is how many houses have sold this month, and
listing reports
whatnot,
are the
but-
number one way. That's like for me, because I could tell you they're 265, or I could tell you the ones down on Sand Hill Road are like 250, or I could tell you that something like I could tell you what houses are going for. I could like just getting those and looking at them. You'll get to where in here your gut will know. So look at as many houses as you possibly can. You can also just play with the statistical information, but you got to work with it a little bit. There's a stats class at the MLS you can take. That's really, really good. There is Keeping Current Matters. That's a website, has really good stuff. My market update, I stole a bunch of their slides. Keeping Current Matters. They have a ton of stuff that you can use. I say still, it had their name on it. It was, but like that, now I can talk about forbearance and what's happening with that. I mean, almost a quarter of the people who originally filed for forbearance still kept making their payments. So the numbers that you're seeing on the news is more fear-based. We actually aren't going to have a huge drop. Everybody thinks the market is going to drop. It's not going to happen. Did you know that about 60% of the loans back at the height of the I don't know what they're calling it, back in 2008, during that time frame, 60% had were adjustable rate mortgages or had arms on them. Now less than 0.1% do. That's different. The difference of how many people were filing for or were in foreclosure, 9 million, compared to what we look at, they're calling high risk or a possibility of not having enough equity in their house during forbearance. It like 75% of them, I think, have enough equity in their house that they could sell, pay commissions, and still walk away with money. There's only about 8 or 9% that they have tagged as somebody who might have an issue, which is closer to like 350,000 homes compared to 9 million. It's like everybody's just waiting for this big rush that's going to come out onto the market. It's just not going to happen. But Keeping Matters Current, there's actually a video on there. It's a 1-hour one. It's totally worth it. It's like a YouTube one that just talks about a lot of these different things, and you'll gain a lot of knowledge that way. And getting in, showing houses. The other place to just gain knowledge is study your contracts. They pay us too much money not to know what they are. Yeah, that is probably one of the biggest pieces. All right, all the tech tools. Can we skip this one? I'm not super techie, so I'll just tell you guys that you can totally run this business and make money with a spreadsheet. You'll be fine. You don't have to have a huge budget. Call, text, email, use Google Docs, Google Sheets, whatever. Your CRM could either be that, or you could even use Google Contacts. For a long time, I used Google Contacts, and for me, I still do. So when somebody buys or sells, all my stuff has to get updated in Command, and it has to get updated in the mailing list and in the birthday list and in Google Contacts for me. So I have somebody who helps me get, because I'm not very good at the details of that. Command, but we also just use Command, just so you guys know. I know a lot of people use a lot of fancy CRMs. Command is just as good. So you're fine to be in command. I just recently sent my text messages with a little image. You can't do video in them, but I could send our like Pumpkin Palooza thing that we did through that and our movie that we did. It was really fun. But you can do a lot with your command. I'm just gonna skip this stuff. Don't tell anyone. We're being recorded though, so. All right, I feel like Shoni is probably gonna do ahas and things before we do that, see there's Shoni. I was like, before that, can we want to take just a couple minutes and answer any questions that maybe we didn't cover? We covered a lot of stuff. Huh? Mm-hmm. We're gonna do ahas. And I was like, Shoni will probably do ahas. I don't feel like those are ours. There we go. Sure. Should we do ahas or questions? Is that okay with you, Shoni?
Probably are unfamiliar with ahas. So
okay, I will let Shoni take over. I just want to hang out with you guys.
Really, the biggest thing that we want to do is just show our appreciation for Angie investing her time to come and share with us, and we're so grateful for that. So just share any takeaways, your top takeaways from today, and what you're going to implement in your business. So we'll go ahead, Sam. Got something?
For me, it was just making a hot sheet for all your leads, and then what's like in their market, and about their market specifically, and so then you have value for them.
Good.
I like what Shirley said about doing 5 contacts a day rather than set a big goal. And because I think a lot of times as people, we do one day we're like, we're gonna bust our butts, and then the other days we're just kind of mediocre. And I think what she said is just do 5 contacts a day, and just it's good habits you're developing, you'll find success.
Success comes from what we do consistently, not what we do occasionally.
For me, my big aha was the part where Angie mentioned information equals motivation.
A couple ahas for me, just like you talked about, we have to provide value. So really just knowing the market. And I love how you mentioned, like, just know your numbers. You don't have to have this huge script, but just like know your numbers. And then as far as just like having conversations with people, just don't overthink it, and like, just go with it. People care about you, and just show them that you care about them as well.
Awesome.
I loved everything about it. I loved your dialogue for your door knocking, and talking about your mortgage insurance, removing that. The people are moving every 3 years now. That was a big aha. And I like the anniversary market report.
Yeah, I have been watching on Zoom like a little creeper, but it's fine. I love that you brought up that you should never go to coffee with someone without knowing that area first, because that literally happened to me last week, and the panic was real. And luckily, I had just done a showing down the street for something similar, and I threw that out there, and they were very impressed, and they should not have been. So now
they don't know. That's the thing is, you
know.
guys think that you have to have all of this stuff. You just have to like know this much more than them.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's 300 agents in this office. You just have to be 1% better than them.
Yeah. And I definitely, that was like a God moment.
Probably already are, because you showed up here.
Because
there's probably 200 you're already beating.
I just threw it out there because I was like, man, this better be in the same neighborhood. And she's like, yeah, I saw that this morning. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, it's a win.
So good.
But next time I will be more prepared. And I love that you said that, because I felt like it was the universe holding me accountable. Like, yep, that happened to you. Mm-hmm.
How about on Zoom?
I like that you said to know the areas and the price point that you want to sell. Because a lot of the time I'm looking at the houses around here and looking at things around my neighborhood, and there aren't a lot of expensive or high-end luxury houses, we'll call them. Around here, there are some, or like large acreages or whatever that are more expensive. But I also have been kind of looking at Alpine and like areas where I grew up in Provo. I'm like, I kind of just want to knock those neighborhoods, even though I don't live here, live there anymore. I just think that if I know the stuff there and I'm talking to the people I know there, I would drive to Provo all day long to sell something that's 4 times more expensive than what's down here. So I think it's good to know stuff everywhere. And I like that you touched on that.
Right. That's awesome. I think too, one thing that I want you guys to realize is that once you gain knowledge, the knowledge will touch another transaction. You won't realize that the time and energy you spend to research something will lead you to more transactions. I had an opportunity a few years back that I had a call on a property in Salem, and I had not sold anything in Salem. And I showed the house, and then they asked me how much the lot was next door. Well, I had been doing work in Linden, so I was like, I don't know, probably like 180. Well, the challenge is it was an $80,000 lot. I didn't know. So I went back, I did my research, I called them and said, I have to apologize. I shouldn't have told you, I didn't know. But I did a lot of research in Salem and got really comfortable with what was a good deal, what was a good price, what you could expect. Do you know what was crazy? Within the next 90 days, we had 5 under contract out in Salem. When you learn about something, you will then be able to be helpful, and you won't even realize it, that one deal will touch another, touch another, touch another. So, I mean, all the Salem City Power guys are our peeps. So no hands off over there, you guys, but we've taken good, like that area now is I can confidently talk about it. And what I learned is I won't say, I'll say, you know what? I actually don't know. Let me find out. I shouldn't have pulled that out. And I do think me being honest and going back and being humble and saying I screwed up, that was my fault, I shouldn't have told you, really led to more powerful things happening from it. I'm so glad you guys came today. Was there anyone else on Zoom that wanted to share ahas?
This is Marianne. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just thought the whole thing about the conversations was so helpful, because like the examples of the Ford conversation and what you say when you call people, and just, you know, all of that was the most, because it's like, you're supposed to be doing lead generation, but I get stuck like, what exactly do I say? I don't want to call people and sound like I'm selling to people. So that was really helpful. Thank you.
You are so welcome. I actually love the Ford dialogue. I think it's fantastic. And you can do that with the person that's standing in line at the grocery store. Put your phone away and just be like, so do you live around here? Just get to know them.
I have a question real quick. Not an aha, but a question. So I know I've already told you guys 100 times that I talk to everyone at the store. I talk to so many people at the store, but I don't know how to go from, hey, I want to be your best friend in line, let's talk about everything, I want to get to know about your family, to, hey, let me sell your house, or anybody else you know. I just don't know what to say. And I don't know how to make it sound not salesy. And I don't know how to come from contribution, I guess, in that situation.
I would probably start with where they live. So do you live around here? How close are you? That's awesome. Do you rent, or are you renting right now? Did you grow up around here? Get more knowledge of what that looks like, and have something you can share with them that's worthwhile. So it does sound a little bit weird, but just ask. It's the story you're telling yourself, and just say, hey, I'd love to stay in touch with you. I sell real estate down here. I know you're not looking to, and just, you put the distance in. I know you're not looking to buy or sell, but I would just love to be able to stay in touch. You seem fantastic. You seem like the kind of person that I'd want to spend time with. You seem savvy. You seem like you got your act together. I would love to keep you in my life. Would that be okay? And if they say no, it's cool. Let it go. The universe will bring you guys back together if it's supposed to be, but it's okay. Just don't tell yourself the story that it's salesy. It will only be salesy if that's the direction you go. And I would continue to build a relationship with them. I just work towards like, how can I add value to it? And step back a little bit, get contact information.
Okay, thank you. I think it's just nice to hear somebody else say it in a non-salesy way, to have me feel like it's not salesy. You know what I mean?
And what we just talked about at the beginning was, don't pull your cards out. Stop and be like, oh, I'm actually all out of cards. Do you mind if I just get your phone number? That's so cool. I would love to stay in touch with you. And just to step back and go, I totally know you're not looking to buy or sell. I would just love to stay in touch with you. So, and most
Okay.
people, they're gonna feel dumb if they tell you no, so they're gonna tell you yes. You just got to get the cojones to ask.
Thanks.
You're welcome. There was something that I liked on this that I don't think the way they do this is different. Hang on. I was curious if you guys are doing that. Like, it had to do with thinking different and how you were going to put what you learned today in action. I don't know where that is, but yeah, I'm curious if you guys could talk about that. Because that's the thing, is it's good to have ahas, but then what I loved about in some of the content that I read was, what are you going to do with the new knowledge you have today? Just one thing, like, to help move your business forward so that you were in action. I feel like it's around the aha section, but. Daily, it is in that. And I know you guys have work to do, so I will get out of your hair, but I just would want to make sure that there's action that comes from the work and the time invested today. Oh, did you guys all mark your 90 days? Is that a yes? Like, it's an important thing, like, I promise. January 4th, that is real. If you need to, I actually have people knock on my door on day 90. So feel free to come see me if you need to on that day. Or the week before, the week after. It's just, but it's real, it's right there.
Perfect. So yes, it's on page, actually, I don't know what page it is on your book. Book numbers are a little bit different, but there's a daily success list. And it's the last, should be one of the last pages on this specific section. And what you're able to do is create the implementation plan. What do you plan to implement from your session today? So go ahead and just take 2 minutes to write down what your implementation plan is. So what's the one thing? Go to the previous page. Yes, wait, nope. Okay. So it's on page 14. And it has specific questions on the left-hand side that you can actually answer. And then Sierra, feel free to come up. And so we will be back in this room on Wednesday. We'll have, Mondays are the only day we don't do the role play beforehand, but on Wednesday we will. So 9 o'clock is when we'll start. And then the session, the actual instructor will be down here at 10. That's gonna be Carl Spencer. And that will be around lead generation. So I'll let Sierra take on the time, and then I do gotta take off, but you guys have a wonderful day, okay?
So
Can we do the drawing real quick and then be done? Oh, we're totally good. I'm good. Okay, book that changed my life. I don't know if you already own it, then you can share it with one of your sphere. This is one of the things that I give a lot of books away. So, what you know from my classes is we do a lot of drawings, but something has to happen before I give them away. You guys. AD.
oh yeah, Adrian. Am I like, hello?
My mom just finished reading it. I just shared it with her. It's so fun. But she's like, I don't get it.
Thank you, Angie. Everybody give her a hand. Thank you, Angie. It was very helpful. Hey, Zoomers, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think some of you have heard this. I announced it on Friday also. We are changing our new agent policy regarding case studies. For new agents, brand new, you have a month to complete them. Go ahead, have transactions. We're encouraging you guys to do that. However, we gave the people some miscommunication that it wasn't necessary to complete them. They are mandatory, especially if you are new. If you have less than 4 solo transactions, meaning you didn't use a TC, then you need to complete the case studies within this next month, or else Dean will come for you. And I really don't want to do that. Yeah, go ahead and have transactions. However, if you want to get paid for your transactions, the case studies need to be done. Please don't make me be the bad guy. I hate doing this. But yeah, I will know. Knowledge is power. Yeah, what she said. Exactly. Case studies. Case studies at max should only take you like 4 hours. If you have questions, there are videos online on how to do it, especially for Shoni's team, our team, there are videos. Jen is really helpful. If you have any questions, ask Amber. However, what needs to be done is all the case studies, plus you need to attend WITSE. There is WITSE tomorrow at 2 after my class, after my Tech Tuesday class. But yeah, if you want to get paid, which everybody does, nobody wants to work for free. Those need to be done. And I am going to be the one to keep track of that. So there will be a list going out this Friday to Sharon, who cuts all the checks. And if your name is on there, you will not get paid for any transactions. They're really quick, shouldn't take you that long. If you have questions, you can always text me, email me. Yes. So Amber, the original plan was that you had to sit down with Amber and get the green light to go ahead, right? However, she's super busy. So if you attend WITSE and you've completed your case study, she will consider you done because she goes over everything in that class also. It's only 30 minutes long. Everybody can take that much time. You could even eat while she talks. Just please come so that I don't have to track you down and everyone can get paid and everyone will be happy. My new command schedule for my command basics class, if you guys haven't attended that, those are very important. Instead of doing a 4-week module, we're going to do 2 weeks where it's command basics as in contacts, opportunities, smart plans for the first 2 weeks. And then on the 3rd and 4th week, we're just going to repeat that because I got a lot of feedback saying first 2, super helpful. The last 2 were like, if you're on Shoni's team, you don't really need that. Because it's more about designs and in design space and campaigns that way. We have RITs for that. I know that some of the other teams also have people. However, if you do have questions about that, please come and find me. I'm here to help you. My office hours are from 9 to 11. If it's an emergency, please text me 911 and then whatever is happening. I did notice that there are a couple people, even on our team, I won't say who, that haven't been filling out their opportunities the correct way. And so when it comes time to submit for commission, that's why it's not working. Let's get that fixed before you end up there, because it's a lot of work to go backwards from that. So if you have any questions, please text me, email me, call me. Please try not to. I get a lot of phone calls. But I'm pretty good at responding, should be good to go. But that's all I had to say today. And I'm going to repeat this again on Wednesday. So I'm sorry in advance if you've heard it. Thank you.